In this week's show, heavy rains bring a landslide and flooding in parts of the island. Find out about plans to tackle the problem, including a World Bank project targeted at the Sendall tunnel. It is often said that a vibrant rural economy augurs well for economic development. A MAREP program unfolds and put this to the test. And Carnival 2014 is history, but organizers are busy learning the lessons from the festival and planning for the future. The review in a special report. Abigail McIntyre and Trevor Thwaite's report from the Grenada Heartland when we come back. When the British and French arrived, it was colonial. When the Americans landed, it was revolutionary. In April, English cricketers lead an army of fans on an invasion of Grenada. England versus West Indies, National Stadium, St. George's. This time, it's the economy.
Wave the hand, wave the hand, wave the hand, and it's the Caribbean. Wave the hand, wave the hand.
Welcome back. Heavy rains over the weekend have caused flooding and landslides in certain parts of the country. Government officials have been visiting the affected areas and have been outlining the state's approach to tackling the problem. Already approved is a World Bank project to deal with the problems associated with landslides at the Sendall tunnel area. Trevor Thwaite has been out and about with the officials at various sites and has details in this special dispatch.
The Ministry of Works is counting its losses, which could run into the millions following the damage caused by the heavy rains on Sunday, which lasted the country. Torrential downpours for most of the day flooded several areas and caused huge landslides. The worst slide happened at the Sendall tunnel in St. George's, which affected traffic for most of the day. Minister of Works Gregory Bowen, who assessed some of the areas, says that work on the Sendall tunnel was on the cards. He indicates that it's part of a disaster vulnerability project funded by the World Bank. Work should begin in the next 3 months.
We have designed what needs to be done here, and it's rock stabilization. We'll be driving a lot of steel pegs deep into the wall to hold it up, and if necessary, put the nettings as well. So we may say perhaps it is timely that this would have come down before. Otherwise, the project would have had to shell it down. But it has exposed itself, and so we will be undertaking this project very soon.
It could well cost between $3 to $4 million to effectively repair the damage done to the Sendall tunnel.
As I indicated up here, the project estimated for this, if you go, that will go into the millions of dollars, right? $3 million, $4 million easily for the work that needs to be done. And the design also entails a retaining wall to the top. A small retaining wall with a lip and a toe into the rock to ensure that we prevent the top from moving further and at the same time stabilize the face. We will have to do some further extension, although that was the design just about 2 weeks ago. If you look at this lip on the side there, the old design where just you have the blocks, it received a serious blow, and that was not part of the project. So now we'll have to engage them and ask them to include this in the project as well.
The big slide at the Sendall tunnel halted traffic in the area for most of the day as the Ministry of Works sought to repair the damage. Traffic into the city via the Carnage and Scott Street slowed considerably as a result. The heavy downpour on Sunday also caused a big slide in the village of Hopevale in St. George. The water brought mud, trees and other debris onto the road, disrupting traffic from around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. However, it is now motorable after a tractor was brought in by the Ministry of Works to clear the area. The slide was scary for Hopevale resident Philip Grimes, whose house just managed to escape. Grimes tells of the frightening experience.
Yesterday I came from West Hall direction, and when I come in and I reached True Library, I saw that plenty water in the road, more water than I ever saw. So I came home and I stayed there, and something just said look out. And when I look out, I see the whole piece of thing just taking the time coming down. So I said, well, the Lord doing the work, so nothing I could do. Yeah.
How are you going to respond to this?
Well, I have to take it as it go because that was the only little piece of property that I had that I could plant something on. And everything seemed to come down, so just have to take it as the Lord sees best.
Grimes says that the area is in need of a back wall.
Well, I would love to see them put up a wall here because it's some years that one time piece of this came down and it came down in the road and I wait for about a week, nobody helped me, and I just turned around and I back it up and did what I had to do so that I was able to clear the traffic. Yeah, and during Ivan, well, the same piece of thing actually come down and they put up the back wall on the bottom side, but nothing was done on the top side.
A back wall is needed.
Exactly, a back wall is needed on this area because I did a lot of work on this thing. When I took over this piece of property, it was only totally high woods, and I took some years, 13 years, digging down and putting it together.
Hopevale resident Philip Grimes, Works Minister Gregory Bowen, who visited the area, says that a back wall has also been planned for Hopevale.
This area, the retaining walls in Hopevale, and this was one area that we looked at to get retaining walls both to the top and bottom. That has been on the card, so I think we'd want to expedite this so that this particular area will be well solved with the repair work. But we're looking at that into the beginning of next year. If you could move that forward under the project to get it done, that will really make the ease of mind for people who would have seen what the terrible floods can do.
The rain that came yesterday, I mean, I don't know, really rain came yesterday is a long time. I don't know how you would compare that rain that came with some other time, but I expected a lot of flooding and, but I've not heard about much flooding. It tells me that our infrastructure is not bad at all.
Yeah, that is so. The amount of rain that fell yesterday was overwhelming. The drains took a lot. Where people did illegal construction, you could see the effect, where they have many large houses that would simply have concreted in the front and the corners, the rear, so that the rains will come off the roof and then onto the concrete again, and then have no way to go, emptied into the drains, and you can see the drains being stressed in that regard. However, as you say, the infrastructure stood up in the areas where there were no drains, and these will be in really private lands. They came out and entered the roadways and so forth, causing high water levels. It was terrible throughout the country, in the south, in St. David's, here in southeast. What you really find is, slides like this, but the infrastructure took out most of the waters, as you say. Although you did have some areas where you are,
Works Minister Gregory Bowen. I am Trevor Thirst reporting for State of Affairs.
These are the images from across Grenada. This is State of Affairs. More stories from the heartland after this.